Hello everyone, this is part 26 of What If Naruto was exiled after he brought Sasuke back, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. What do you mean you lost the little bastard? Suan said, looking at Jiraiya, rage in her eyes. I might have goaded him, and mentioned Naruto was better than him, and, well, he took it personally and. Suan had clenched her hand at her side while Anko was watching the Sannin with a smirk. She turned her gaze to check on Orochimaru. Sonova, he's gone. Both Sannin turned, their argument forgotten. Damn it, that finged snake bastard, Suan had said and backhanded a tree that sent it flying off to the distance. XX. Land of snow. The tree landed in the middle of the field. A small boy watched it as it seemed to bury itself in the soil. Wow, so cool. Mom said it would take ages before a tree grew here. Guess she was wrong. He rushed back home to tell his mother. XX. Konoha. Hinata and Sakura were in a dangerous duel of kunai and strikes. Hinata sported several cuts on her arms, and Sakura with the aid of the curse seal forced open her sealed chakra points that Hinata had sealed. I'll KO and cut out those thing eyes. Sakura spat. No you won't, Haruno. You're a sad little girl in a sad little delusional world. When all is said and done you will be the scared little girl that chased after the Uchiha and Naruto-kun unable to defend herself. Sakura froze for a second then snarled. You fine bee. She lunged and espered at Hinata with the kunai in her hands. Hinata smiled as she ducked and weaved. Naruto-kun is right, taunt your opponent, get them angry and they lose all composure. She smacked Sakura's wrist and saw the F was becoming almost black. What the hell? She thought as she ducked back to avoid the other kunai that would have SD her tea. It's like she's not even feeling my hits anymore. On the ground behind the fighting pair where they were dropped before Meat Market had been sent flying, Akamaru began to crawl forward, his eyes locked on the pink-haired girl who hurt his partner and the white-eyed girl who had treated him kindly when he was a pup. XX. Naruto looked around when he stopped. Hey, bro, down here. Naruto looked down and saw a purple toad holding. Where did you get that? He asked, accepting the hilt. The pervert said to get it away from the Uchiha and I took it to mean that I should get it back to you. Naruto felt the pulse of recognition, but he felt the blade was tainted. I'll need to ask, right? Can't ask him, he's been exorcised to Kami's court. Naruto thought sadly, remembering the loss of Kyuubi. Clipping it to his belt he looked at the toad. I'm sorry, I don't have any treats with me. I'll make sure Ero-sannin gets you something. That's cool. Good luck. Pops misses you, but he knows you have a new pact. I miss him and you guys as well. I'm sorry. It's okay. Pop said if any of us saw you, we were to tell you that you still owe him a drink. Naruto smiled at the purple toad. I know, and when I can I'll get him something. The toad was going to say more when a kunai went through it and it vanished in a puff of smoke. Naruto looked up to see a pair of Sharingan eyes glaring at him. You have something of mine, Dobe. Sasuke said. Yours? Naruto asked with a smirk. Funny bastard, but I recall making this myself. Of course I'm going to have to purge your taint from it. Gah, feels like it was dropped in raw sewage, but seeing as you touched it, means the same either way. Naruto clipped both to his belt and seed his head at his former teammate. You want it? Come get it, you whiny bee. Sasuke needed no encouragement and lunged. Naruto sidestepped him and kicked him in the back, sending him crashing over to another roof. If this is the best the pedophile taught you, you're still a B. Naruto said as he watched the Uchiha dig himself out of the rubble and form several hand signs. Fire style, meteor shower. Naruto cursed as superheated rocks rained down from the sky, forcing him to dodge. Okay, bastard's got some new tricks, but then so do I. Naruto's hands were in motion and he finished with water style, tsunami. The fires were wiped out and Sasuke was driven from the roof. Naruto landed and looked over the edge. Damn it, where did he go? XX. Gaara entered the battle from the wall with a sand wave burying many of the invading ninjas still outside the wall. Tsunade, Jiraiya and Anko arrived, many nin hearing the Hokage yelling at Jiraiya about letting the Uchiha escape. Of all the irresponsible, stupid things you could have said. Well, at least Orochi team was weakened. Jiraiya muttered. Anko spat as she buried a kunai in the end of an Oto nin. Bastard slipped down another hole. We need a mongoose to K that bastard. Tsunade sighed as she was joined by Kurenai. Report. The red-eyed Jonin halted while Anbu moved in to protect the Hokage. We're holding the line, Lady Tsunade. We've suffered some heavy losses. Itachi is near death at the hospital and Asuma informed me that Guy's spine was broken, and Lee is still in surgery. Kankuro has second and third degree burns. What of Naruto? Nothing. He along with Mika, Hinata, Ino, and Kiba were last seen in the market area doing battle with some heavy hitters. Nami's body was seen earlier, but no one's been that way to start the body patrols yet. Tsunade winced. And Haruno. She's become a menace all over the place. She seems to be stalking Hinata from last reports after she stopped Haruno from King Iruka, who's been transported to the hospital. Kurenai said. Jiraiya, Anko, find Naruto and the others. Kurenai, get me Shino and an Inuzuka. We need to find where Orochimaru scrambled off to. The Jonin nodded and vanished with a leaf shushin. Here, Lady Tsunade. A medic said, handing her a sealed med kit. Popping it open, Tsunade grabbed a soldier blood pill and a stimulant. She knew she would regret it later, but she needed the adrenaline boost. She turned and saw Shikamaru and Temari fighting. Nara! She yelled and he made his way over as Neji stepped in and took down a Iwanin with a Juken strike to the N. How many of those experiments of Orochimaru's got away? She asked. 4. And it was the most dangerous 4. Shikamaru said, pulling his canteen and taking a long drink. They identified themselves as the Marauders. The 4 that got away are Undertow, a water manipulator, Shockwave who is dangerous creating blasts of some kind. A girl made of crystals that battled the Kazekage to a standstill as she would create crystals like the Kazekage could make and use sand. He pulled his ear. And the pyrokinetic, called himself Flare, he was way too troublesome. Tsunade ignored his extra comment. Can you form a team to find them? She asked. Not with everyone as exhausted as we are with the forces still coming in. Damn. Tsunade muttered. Make plans to get them. They're too dangerous to be allowed to run free. Shikamaru nodded. Hey, lazy ass, get back to the fight. Temari yelled as she bashed a Cloud Nin over the head with her fan. Tsunade gave him a shove. Come back alive, Nara, I have work for you. Man, what a drag. Shikamaru muttered as he returned to the battle. He looked and saw Neji and Tenten with Gaara now, and further down the way he saw Asuma headbutt a ninja off the wall. Maybe I can retire after this. Shikamaru thought, tossing several shuriken into oncoming ninja. XX. Meat Market stood no chance as an enraged Mika SD him to ribbons with the wind. The Dragon Hanyu's gold eyes were blood red now and he was picking apart the experiment with abandon. They'd nearly ended up back towards the main battle. A Cloud Nin got too close and was beheaded by a wind whip. Meat Market's head went flying soon after and Mika didn't notice or care as his eyes fell on the body of Nami laying where it had been since she fell in battle. He walked over and knelt, pulling her head into his lap. He stroked her cool cheek with his right hand. Tears slipped from his eyes as he remembered their passion-filled nights of the past week. Her soft touches and their be moving together in a rhythm as old as time, her emerald green eyes dancing in mischief. Several feet away Ino found a bow and quiver of arrows and picking them up she was going to place them next to the fallen woman when her eyes registered movement. No way. She breathed out as Itindigan dug himself out of the crater where he'd been slammed into. The giant's clothes and armor were in tatters. He extended his hand and a snap hiss was heard as a black chakra blade returned to his hand. He staggered towards Mika who showed no sign of caring or acknowledging the Tomb Guardian's approach. Ino watched as the giant stopped right next to the weeping silver-haired teen and raised the black chakra blade into the air. Mika looked up, his golden eyes seeing the Mechadisciple and not caring. Darit. His voice was hollow. You were a worthy foe, in peace. Itindigan intoned and brought the blade down. XX. Hinata kicked and spun. She was striking Sakura, but none of the blows seemed to be registering. Where she hit, the skin seemed to become black and the pink-haired Kunoichi sneered as she tried to gut her. The armor Hinata wore was being SD off her in thin strips. Jarkala, what is wrong? Nothing is working. She's found it. Somehow she has found the perfect shield. I thought that was lost long ago. What do you mean? Perfect shield? Hinata asked in her mind as she spun and connected with another palm strike that had the effect of forcing Sakura back several steps, but that was it. She's learned to manipulate her subatomic particles. She's made her F into her unnamed form of onyx. This battle child has become so much harder. We might have to use it. Hinata ducked and with several rabbit punches and a flip kick bought herself a moment of space. Are you sure? We've never used it, you've never used it in any incarnation. She thought, avoiding the kunai attacks. Barely, her overshirt was nothing but tatters now, rags hanging off her, the chakra armor underneath not looking much better. We might not have a choice. Neither woman noticed the crawling figure of Akamaru showing closer, the dog's wounds pumping out blood with each pull it made as it inched itself closer and closer to the battle. The black chakra blade was inches from Micah's end when an arrow slammed into the Tomb Guardian's chest, staggering him backwards. A second arrow joined the first and a third joined it. Get away from him, you bastard! Ino snarled. She saw Micah was staring at her in shock, as if he was seeing someone else in her place. XX. Micah waited for death, he welcomed it. I welcome it, he thought. When a moment passed and the Mechadisciple hadn't SD his head off and given him to the Shinigami, he looked up to see Itendigan standing there with a shocked look on his face and an arrow in his chest. A second and third one joined it, but Micah's head snapped around to find a blonde standing there with Nami's bow in her hand. For a moment Nami's image overlaid Ino. Don't give up, Pamuja. Find happiness. He could have sword. The image spoke to him and then he blinked and Nami's image was gone and he was looking at the body in his lap, then back at the bow wielding kunoiki. Get away from him, you bastard! She snarled. XX. It will be a shame, US young dragon, but you've become too much of a hindrance and with your mate you won't be thinking clearly enough to be of use. Itendigan thought as he tried to bring his Mechadisciple down and a sudden sensation of pain staggered him back before he could complete his task. He looked to see an arrow in his chest. What the? Two more arrow impacted and he staggered back and his eyes went to see a blonde holding a bow. That bow was Undervis forged. Get away from him, you bastard! The blonde snarled at him. Itendigan smirked. Things have just gotten more interesting, he thought. XX. Sakura smirked as she and Hinata fought. You have that look in your eyes. You want to know how come your blows aren't having any effect on me. Well, I'll tell you. Lord Orochimaru made me special. He blessed me as his personal shield. The more damage you do, the stronger it will become. Hinata watched as Sakura pulled open her shirt to show a heaven seal curse mark between her BS. Lord Orochimaru has blessed me above all others, and when he took me and gave me 2 seals, you will never win, whore. Hinata's eyes bled to black. It is you who will never win, Haruno. I am the spirit of vengeance, and your soul is stained with the blood of the innocent and your heart is as black as night. For you there won't be redemption. Sakura laughed. As long as I am aware of you trying to harm me, you will never get through my shield. The pink-haired kunoiki laughed like a maniac. Hinata's strikes were perfect and they drove Sakura back. You can't win, Hyuga whore. I will KO and show your body to that monster, and then Lord Orochimaru will reward M. AGGGGHHHHHHH. Sakura's scream came from Akamaru sinking his fangs into her calf. You worthless mutt! Sakura roared as she smacked the dog off her. It however gave Hinata the opening she needed. Divine Judgment, 250 SIX Palms Hellfire Strike. Sakura's body was pummeled and broken down before she could mentally make the connection to activate her shield. Several strikes impacted with her head, stopping all thought patterns. Hinata finished the ultimate Juken assault she'd made with help from Jarkala. She watched as Sakura fell to the ground, her body twitching. Hinata spat on the battered and bruised body. That was for Nami, you traitor, as well as for all the times you've hurt Naruto-kun. She saw Akamaru and Kiba laying on the ground further down the alley and rushed to check on them. Kiba was unconscious, but still alive. She checked on Akamaru, who weakly lifted his head. Shush. You did wonderful, Akamaru. Lie still, Hinata said. She was exhausted, but she pulled on more chakra, willing the healing jutsu to flow. Good boy. You did an awesome job, Akamaru, she said, holding a green glowing hand over his wounds. A whimper. Silly dog. You're not S yet. You can't leave Kiba, you know how much trouble he'd be in without you. Tears flowed down her now lavender eyes. Come on, stay with us, Akamaru, she said. The hound of the Inuzukas, companion and partner to Kiba, licked her hand and slowly his eyes drifted shut. Hinata cried for the dog she'd known since it was a pup. It had been her friend, her companion when she cried. She remembered nights where Akamaru would sneak onto the Hyuga compound and console her before sneaking back to the Inuzuka home across town. Or, is itty bitty puppy S? Hinata turned and saw Sakura standing there, or she thought it was Sakura, because the F was black as night and the only thing that screamed Sakura was the hair and the clothes. You can't be. I ked you, Hinata said. The thing that was Sakura laughed, cackled insanely. Or, but it is princess. Now I'll K you too. XX. Sasuke and Naruto stand across from one another for the first time in nearly 3 years. Well Dobe, you look disgustingly healthy. You look like S-Team. Naruto fired back. Sasuke activates his Sharingan. Naruto steps into a basic taijutsu stance in preparation for the fight. Listen Sasuke. End this now. Naruto said, trying to stop this fight from happening. It doesn't matter if you don't want to fight with me. I'll just destroy this pathetic village completely. Naruto looked at his former teammate in disbelief. I won't let you, you bastard. Naruto got into a position. Sasuke, you've grown in power since the Valley of the End, but team, this is round 2. Naruto said. The two did a shoulder and collar lock up and glared at each other, before Naruto brought his knee up between them and drilled Sasuke on the chin. The Uchiha flipped backwards and snarled at him. I'll K you Dobe, as he activated the Chidori. Bring it on you bastard. Naruto snarled as he formed the Rasengan. The two charged, their powerful attacks colliding and the energy output had many around them backing away as the two powerful attacks struggled for dominance. A mere twitch and both attacks exploded, filling the area with smoke. Several nearby ninjas stopped fighting to watch the battle in shock. Those still on their feet looked as the smoke cleared, seeing both Sasuke and Naruto still standing, the Uchiha smirking at Naruto as smoke rose from his body, showing just how much energy was used between the two. Naruto's 9 tails waved back and forth wildly. Naruto was shocked. He thought for sure that Sasuke would have been blown backwards. He saw it then. The bastard used the curse mark. Naruto didn't get to move as Sasuke transformed, becoming bigger, and his gray-fed hand reached out and engulfed Naruto's head. He's bigger than before, stronger. The blonde thought as the massive hand covered his face and head. He's gotten stronger. I tough, but I don't know if I'm a match for him. Shaking himself mentally. I can't let him on like this. I can't lose to him. Everyone is counting on me to stop him. Sasuke sneered, his features distorted by the 3rd level of the curse mark. Come here Dobe, this is where you will S. Naruto used his chakra to push the hand back, burning it, and he flipped back, the air around him a vortex of purple chakra. Sasuke stood there sneering at him. Naruto composed himself and, still surrounded by the chakra, took a step forward, then another, and another before he raced at Sasuke again, a Rasengan formed in each hand. Sasuke sneered and leapt straight at Naruto. The two met and the Chidori and Rasengan clashed again an explosion, and Naruto was sent flying backwards, his body slammed through the wall. Konoha's defenders were in shock as dust, wood and mortar rained down on Naruto as they watched him skid down the street a moment before coming to a rest, face down in the dirt. I can't lose. Everyone is counting on me. I need more power. Sasuke walked through the debris, a sneer on his face. Naruto was laying there when one of his tails began to glow, the blonde fur streaked with purple and red chakra as Naruto slowly rose to his feet. Sasuke looked pissed as the Dobe got to his feet and brushed the dirt off himself. Naruto went to lunge at him, but Sasuke was on the attack, as he clotheslined Naruto with a stiff arm across the N. Naruto hit the ground hard again. Sasuke was looking at the defenders of Konoha who weren't fighting and sneered. This is your great defender. He spit on the ground. I am an Uchiha, see as I destroy all you hold dear. He yelled. He was kicked hard from behind and sent flying. He landed with an explosion and tore up the ground, making his own trench in the dirt. He leapt to his feet and saw Naruto was back up and waiting. That's more like it Dobe, he said with a sneer. Fire style, fireball jutsu. He roared without warning. The hot ball of flame left him and rocketed towards Naruto, who leapt straight up in the air out of the way, and the ball hit the ground, exploding and showering the area with burnt earth. The fireball was diversion and Sasuke was on Naruto in the middle of his leap and grabbed him around the end and slammed him into a building, cracking it and shattering it as he drove Naruto into it one-armed. It's no use, Dobe, Sasuke said as he stepped back. Naruto dug himself out of the wall and slumped a bit before struggling to maintain his feet and entering his fighting stance once more. Sasuke leapt at him at incredible speed and drove him through the building where he impacted with the ground and left a crater. Naruto struggled to rise. His whole body was hurting. He was on his feet slowly, but Sasuke was right there attacking quickly. Kicks, knees and punches rained on him. Fighting back, it was a blur of motion to those watching as the two tore into one another. Punches to the ribs, knees to the face, there wasn't a body part that wasn't hit in this short but swift exchange. A blow from Sasuke sent Naruto into another building and he was there, his fists like pistons pounding Naruto into the structure with unbridled fury. You've lasted pretty long, Dobe, but it's almost the end for you. Sasuke sneered. Naruto hung in the wall as the Uchiha stepped back to gloat. Power. I need more power. I need to stop him here and now. Naruto thought. Naruto roared. It wasn't a roar of a man in pain. It was the roar of a demon lord coming into his power. Two more tails changed color and the purple chakra around Naruto spun even faster. Good. You finally feel like fighting with me. Sasuke sneered. But do you really think you can K me with that little bit of power you've managed to drag up? Naruto wasn't listening. His mind was focused on all the people who were precious to him. Mika, Nami, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Konohamaru, Iruka, Kakashi, Kyuubi, Hinata. He pulled on the power that was his and pulled more. Power. I need more power to K him. He thought as he dug deeper. Sasuke activated his Chidori again and went to strike the blonde that had annoyed him for so long. Naruto's clawed hand lashed out and grabbed him by the fist. The Chidori showed no sign of causing any damage as it faded away. Sasuke was stunned. What the? Naruto roared again, and the older villagers who remembered the Kyuubi's attack all those years ago shivered in fear, some wet themselves, glad they were in the shelter away from the battle. What is this? Sasuke was surprised. The dobe's stronger than before. How is this possible? I'm the Uchiha. I can't let you win, Sasuke. Naruto snarled. His canine teeth were longer than before the battle began, his hair had grown and was now whipping around by the vortex of chakra that surrounded him. Sasuke stepped back. He wouldn't admit it out loud, but he was afraid. What is he? This isn't the demon that Orochimaru talked about. Naruto's different. Shaking off his momentary fear, he looked at Naruto, his sneer returning. No matter how much power you gather, you can't have more than me, Dobe. I'm the Uchiha. Can't I? Naruto fired back as the chakra around him spun even faster. You won't know until I try. The two lunged at one another again. I won't let you destroy those precious to me. Naruto roared and Sasuke never saw it as each tip of Naruto's tails generated mini Razengans and the Uchiha stood no chance even with the level 3 curse seal activated against 11 Razengans packed with the power of the Kyuubi no Kitsune, the lord of the Kitsune, Naruto Uzumaki. The Rasengan balls struck Sasuke in the chest and midsection, each one a miniature bomb going off and Sasuke flew up into the air screaming in pain and anger, the curse seal fighting to repair the damage, but was losing as the body suffered so much. The explosion over Konoha was like a sun going nova. Sasuke Uchiha hit the ground and rolled. He lay there, across the way Naruto's stance slumped as he gasped for breath. He saw they were once more back near the main battle and he smirked to Tsunade who looked stunned. His eyes widened as the grey form of Sasuke got to his knees and he was laughing, the curse mark on his N was blazing. Hey, not bad, Dobe. But I just unlocked a new level of the curse seal, one never seen before. I am a true god. Sasuke sneered as the damage was repaired instantly. Naruto saw the Mechadisciple in Sasuke's hands and looked down to see it was gone. Oh boy, I think we're in trouble. He muttered as he pulled his purple blade free and both blades snapped on at the same time, neither wielder looking away. XX. Sakura stopped mid-advance when the explosion happened. She sneered at Hinata. You have a reprieve. My master's plans are coming into fruition, and I need to be elsewhere. Enjoy these extra moments, for next time we meet, you will s. And Sakura vanished in a shushin. Hinata felt something on her hand and she looked down to see Akamaru's eyes open. Let's get you and Kiba to the hospital, she said. Naruto-kun, please be safe, she thought as she sent up a flare for the medics to find them. Itendigan had been shocked at the power he'd felt come from where he'd noticed the power signatures of the Kyuubi brat and Orochimaru's pet toy Uchiha. Impressive. They both went above all that was thought possible, and it feel like they're going to go up even more. He turned as he heard Micah's warning growl. The silver-bladed Mechadisciple leapt to the Wind Dragon's hand. Another surprise. He should be racked with guilt and sorrow, yet he's ready to attack, and he seems more slay than before. He got his own blade up to defend. He spun away, avoiding an arrow from the blonde. This is not an ideal battle. I need to get out of here. My master was insistent that Orochimaru and his people make it. He has plans for them beyond this assault. Iten fought, blocking and spinning away with speed that none would think possible with his huge frame. He used his chakra blade to S an arrow and then in a downward swipe intercept and block the silver blade from Micah. Very good, young dragon. Imagine what you can do with one that you made for yourself. Iten taunted, but he knew that if he pushed too far, the wind SD into his chest and his immunity and healing factor saved him from certain deaths. He swiped, a blow that would have taken Micah's head off, but he missed and sadly an arrow LD his forearm, forcing him to drop his black-bladed Mechadisciple. A small wind funnel on the ground caught it and sent it into the air. It arched and landed in Micah's outstretched palm. The blade blazed from black to silver. Impossible. The power. Itendigan said, his eyes widening. Micah looked at him and was in motion. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.